you enjoy spending time alone. Ding, ding, ding. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode on the Big Dane podcast. How was your weekend? I always like to kick it off that way, but yeah, how was your weekend? It's starting to get chillier. I did notice actually just over at Lucky Dog over here in Conchi, saw the little it's kind of like a little bubble over the table outside. I was doing a little walk before it got too dark, and I'm like, whoa, that's so cool, because literally it was just the other week when I was there with one of my friends for dinner, and it was chilly, but then they didn't have those little contraptions, to hold in the heat. So we'll see how that works, or how well it works too. So if you've tried it out, send me a note, right? Want to see if should I be sitting outside, or is it not exactly worth it? Do I need a heavy coat? Just some other quick updates before we get started. So how the last episode I was saying oh my gosh, it was the worst smell I had encountered, and when I was on the trail, and it was the deer and whatnot, and obviously when something dies, it's a really bad smell. So I was on there again recently, and it's gone. So the police or someone must have just scooped it up and just took it away. But I would say the side that was closest to the deer, can still kind of smell a little something if you're I don't know, it's just a slight smell. Just since I knew it was there, I'm oh, it's still a little stanky, but not like it was. So, but then I think well, what do they do with that? Do they just toss, where are they tossing that? Do they, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. And the other weekends, as you guys saw in one of my Instagram pictures, that I did a photo shoot. Yeah, it was so fun. Guys, it was kind of hard. I know that sounds silly, but with the podcast being so random with topics, and my different voices that I use just to keep it fun and goofy and silly, it is hard to be goofy and silly when nothing silly is happening. Okay? So I said, Matt, you gotta come with me, because you gotta help me, make me laugh, or whatever. And so this was the first time that I met one of the guys that was doing the photo shoot, and then his girlfriend, that was my logo. So it was the first time I met her in person, so it was kind of cool. And it's the same people that Matt used too, so it was all good and fun. So it's I kind of knew them, but not well enough, a good friend where no one gives a fuck and you can just do whatever you want. And I don't know, it's just kind of getting that comfort level, but it's you almost have to just get over that and just do whatever and act silly. And I was able to pull some ideas from Pinterest just for poses, because I also wanted to get the brick. And I don't think I said this or not after just speaking for a few minutes now, but I had it in Chestnut Hill because I knew that there were some significant areas where they had the brick background. But then I realized, just because I hadn't been there in a little while, it's actually a lot of stone too. But fun fact, and this is also kind of why I did it in Chestnut Hill, I was actually born at Chestnut Hill Hospital. Yeah. Who else was born there? Anyone? Any takers? You raising your hand? You raising your two hands? So yeah, but I will keep you posted on that. A lot of it's going to be for my website and just, new and professional pictures for social. So I'm so excited to share that with you guys. Um, Also, we went to Linvilla the other weekend. Oh my gosh, there were so many people. I thought, should we turn around? Like I figured there'd be some people, but not like real crowded. Like this, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm a little uncomfortable. So, but we just kind of looked around real quick outside and then we just went straight to the beer garden. Because a lot what we saw online was like, you got to get tickets and schedule ahead for all the activities. Like, we weren't doing any activities. So, we're like, we just want the beer. Let's go to Ship Bottom. So, we were able to do that. So, it was good fun. Yeah. So, can you believe Halloween is around the corner? This is gonna be interesting. Interesting year. Right? And then my tattoo's coming up. And I meant to touch on this like the other episode and I completely forgot, but I know I was sharing with you guys, if you may have not seen it because I only had put in the story real quick, but I actually got a colonoscopy done. So yeah, I just have been having stomach issues. I have IBS, and I definitely gonna do like an episode on IBS for anyone that can relate because it's not fun. But long story short, I had been getting random pains that I never had felt like since I had been diagnosed with this, which was about 8 years ago, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And, and so not knowing, and like, well, first step that they tell you is like, get a colonoscopy done. Let's stick up this little camera up your butthole. Yeah. So, and it doesn't hurt. Like, you guys are probably like, what the hell? Like, I know, especially for being younger and, 30 to get something done like that, like you probably don't normally see unless you're a little bit older. But, either way, everything came back fine, which is good. But then they said it had an extra large colon. And like, what the hell is that? Extra large colon. Is that why my stomach isn't flat? Like, I don't know. Maybe. But I don't know. But it's just like such a process. So I'm like, well, do I do like, I don't know. And then I have to wait for a SIBO test. So as you can see, I'm like frustrated talking about it. But TBD on that. I don't know what's going to be happening. But apparently I have to make another appointment, another telehealth, so you could tell me what the hell is going on. Like, why can't I send you a stool sample? I know that sounds really gross, but like, isn't that how you can tell like bacteria and all that shit? No pun intended, but yeah. Okay, all right. I'm blabbing, so let me get into it. So we are talking about, and when I say we, I mean the Big Dane. We're doing introvert versus extrovert. Yeah, I feel like I like kind of talk about it off and on. So yeah, I was looking at some like different articles and just to like really put into perspective for you guys, and some of you guys are introverts like myself, and some of you are extroverts who just don't stop talking and being loud and get all their energy from people. Yeah, but really though, like when you really break it down, when you think of an introvert, I think the first thing that people think is shy. You're very shy and you don't want to open up. And extrovert is like, you're fucking loud, like, fuck you. No, but, you know, quiet versus being loud versus being loud. But it's more than that. That's just kind of like very surface level, if that. I mean, when I was younger, most definitely I was shy. I don't know. I was just like, I was just didn't want to use my voice, I guess. I don't know. It wasn't like, not like being like mute or anything like that, but I was just too shy to just speak and whatnot. But like, as I grew up and I kind of broke out of that shell, but it's really like, well, how are we taking care of ourselves? Like, everyone is making plans, like everyone has busy weeks, busy days, and it's like, well, how do you almost like recover from that, right? So it's like this one article is from cnet.com under the health and wellness. So in it, talks about the differences, and it's about relating to like one another and yourself, right? So if you're an introvert, what they're saying here, it's saying that you enjoy spending time alone. Dang, dang, dang. You prefer quality time with one or two people over spending time with bigger groups of friends. Yes, I would say yes for myself, because then when I do like the larger hangouts, but at the same time, then I almost feel like overwhelmed in a way that, because I want to talk to everyone, but then I'm like, well, I can't have like a deep conversation with like 20 people. Like there's not enough time. So it's just like how, at least for myself, how I choose to spend the time with someone that I care about and like want to catch up with, as opposed to just like throwing you in there. This also says you need alone time to rest and recharge after a busy workday or period of activity. Oh my gosh, this one really hits it here. This is like a home run. Like, it's just like I can't even speak because I'm just like completely donezo. My battery level is like 2%. Like I already used up all my energy. I cannot, if I could plug myself in, no problem. I'll be right back in about 10 minutes. Maybe I'll be up at like 50%, I don't know. But really, like for me, and I know Matt is, similar too, which is kind of funny, and even like tonight, I just been stressful at work, and we even, so this is like nothing, but we thought we were just gonna like sit down and watch something together, and I feel like I didn't even want to do that. I'm like, I just want to be by myself. So I was like, I kind of want to just do my own thing. So, and he gets that because he's definitely said the same thing to me, where I'm like, oh, so you want to watch this tonight? Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I just want to play video games. So I'm like, okay. And then this last bullet says you can get lost in your thoughts easily and need time to process and think through most things. I would have to agree on that. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm, as, being in my career now and having different jobs and whatnot, like I don't think I always considered myself like analytical, but I am is what I'm realizing. Because I need to, like, if you say something, or maybe if I was on a call or like something, there's people might have like questions right away, whereas like now, like the call is over and now I think of something else. You know what I mean? Like I kind of process it a little bit further, I guess, and just, I don't know, I have to like just take it in, right? And then I'll come back like, well, what about this? And have like a very good question, Now, it says you may be an extrovert if you prefer spending your time around other people and dislike being alone. You like crowds, parties, and other gatherings with lots of new people. Gosh, these people must be like dying in, COVID right now. You need quality time with others to help you recharge. Gosh, I can't even imagine what that's like. That'd be like, I'm like, can I just like swap bodies? Like, what was that series? Do you guys remember? It was like something like you would like, it was a teenage youth novel series. I don't know what I'm saying, but it was like, I'm in the body of blah, blah, blah. It was like celebrity, blah, blah. And like, I don't know, but essentially you would switch bodies with this person and like see what their day is like. But that would be interesting if we could just do that for a day, because I can't even imagine what it would be like to basically be the opposite. And now you have, you're low on energy because you're by yourself, but you need to have like a pick me up, right? With being surrounded with other people, you know? So, yeah. This last bullet, it says you're outgoing, talkative, and like being the center of attention. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And this, just kind of goes into, being introverts, being more aware of their internal thoughts, like, and recharging more in solitude. Extroverts can be just the opposite. Extroverts are more outspoken, outgoing, absolutely love being around other people. But I will say I'm a little bit of a mixture, because it's not like I like to be inside, doing my own thing 24/7. Like, I need to get out. Like, and not just because of COVID, but because I enjoy, seeing my friends, getting together, catching up, having those deeper conversations with my friends. And I enjoy doing that. But when I do, have those moments, say on a Friday night, and now someone else wants to do something on a Saturday night, I'd be like, I'm busy. Busy, having my own time to myself, pretty much, because it's too much. Like, then when do I have any time to myself? Because then it's Sunday, and then Sunday, at least lately, has been softball. And then it's like, what? I'm going to the grocery store, maybe, I don't know, eating candy corn, parties. But yeah, so for me, when I have a busy weekend, oh my gosh, why can I not speak? I'm going to take a sip of water. Yeah, I'm taking a sip of water because I drank my beer. My UFO pumpkin. So guys, the UFO pumpkin, it's okay. I mean, I think before I was saying like, yeah, the UFO. But another brand that Mac got was like more flavorful and whatnot. But like, then you can't have too much. So too many rather. Yeah. So if it's a weekend, like maybe I haven't seen someone in like a long time, and that's like the only weekend that they could do. So then I have to like double up. I'm like, okay, a Friday, a Saturday, but, and then in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's almost like just a little stressful in a way, because then I think, well, when do I have some downtime? Because again, it's then Sunday rolls around, and maybe you gotta clean a little bit, and maybe you gotta do laundry, things that you're just kind of constantly moving around the house and running errands or whatever. It's just, why is there never enough time? Like, I just need an extra day. Just give me an extra day. I think I'm just gonna move to Europe, so they like to give days away, right? So, yeah, and then what about the workplace though? I remember at my last job, before you even started, they, like, during like your interview process, you had to take a predictive index, and it's just like you select like adjectives, and I guess it was just adjectives, like how you like how you see yourself, right? And then how others perceive yourself. So, and for me, I like would always like, I'm like, well, I feel like people see me the same. I mean, granted, this was like 6 years ago, but so, and that's how they actually are able to match you up with the right team. So you're working with the right people, right? Based on, I guess in a way, it's like, well, not really your personality, but basically if you're an introvert or extrovert. So, and there's a lot more that goes into this predictive index. I don't have time to get into it, but yeah, feel free to look it up. But because it has to do with like dominance and like just how you work together with people, how you work independently, like how are you doing? Do you have patience? And so I mean, even at work too, like I when I used to, be in the office, I'm thinking more of my last job just because I was on a larger team and yeah, it was kind of funny. The one team that I was on, and I was um, mentoring one of my coworkers. She sat in front of me, and she was new at the time, and she has all this high energy, and it was like, the Energizer Bunny, and it was great. But she was so positive and like everything. But one of the things that I remember that they said, because what they do at my last job is that they'll kind of bring the whole team together and like really dive into everyone's PI, predictive index, so you can really understand each other, how to communicate with each other and whatnot. So it's pretty interesting. But it's funny, everyone was cracking up because they were describing me like, yeah, don't like to be interrupted if they're in the middle of a task. And meanwhile, like, I know my friend, like, who sat in front of me, like, she would always like scoot her chair back and like wheel back, be like, Dana, like, and she would like ask me something, and like I didn't mind it, but it was just because like her energy, like everything was so positive and great that like nothing annoyed me. But it was just the fact of saying like, they hit it right on the head there, and that's what she would do. But it was fine, for me it was fine. If it was maybe someone else that just, maybe I didn't get along with or something like that, then I'd be like, shut the fuck up, like turn around. But no, she was literally the best. She was so fun to like train and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's like I need to just like internalize. And if I had an office, back then, and then I'd probably like shut the door because, with being at an agency, it gets kind of loud. Like people are just like talking out loud and don't care. Like this isn't a library, like where it's like peace and quiet. So it's like that's what I need. I got focus. Whereas like the other people, like, so here's a couple of facts from the predictive index online here. It says when managing a high extroversion employee, understand that hers is a personal emotional drive. She craves outward attention and being a part of action. She'll readily engage in virtually any form of social activities and at work, meetings, committees, parties, any chance to mingle with coworkers. So it kind of goes into a little bit more. It even suggests host a welcome lunch. Give them time to voice what's on their mind, remind their deadlines, help them with details, check in frequently, and be flexible. Well, I'm glad I was checking in with her. I'm like, oh yeah, it's good, you got it. Oh my God, again, I hit the microphone. It's so close to my mouth, so I'm like, just want to make sure, you guys hear me. But yeah, the low extroversion at work, and like some of this, like I agree, but like not all of it. So it says an employee with low extroversion is not driven by a need for social interaction, which I agree. I'm like, I don't care. Like, just go. Can you actually like turn around? Can you remove yourself from where you're standing near my desk? And then it says, by contrast, he will be quiet, not communicative, and serious. Just because his mouth is shut doesn't mean that his mind isn't open. Hell yeah. Because in my mind, I'm like, dude, you have no idea. Like, can you please, like, hang up the phone, turn around, mind your own business? Like, why are you talking like that on your conference call? Like, could you be a little quiet? Oh my gosh, that just reminded me. So, my last job, at one point, there was this guy that sat behind me, right? Dang, when he would get on the phone, be like, yo, fucking book a pod. And what I mean, a pod is just like a conference room, like a private room where you can like have your meeting. He would talk so loud. I was like, dude, like, well, I never said this, but really in my mind, me being introvert, I'm internalizing and saying, what the fuck? Like, you need to like, you're at a level 10, bring it down to a 7, right? Is what I wanted to say. So, yeah, so let me keep going. So then it says he's introspective and enjoys private versus public spaces for thought. Yes. As he prioritizes tangible things of a relationship, he is analytical and matter of fact in his interactions. When he does interact and communicate, he is thoughtful and sincere. Ha! Yeah. For the low extroverted employee, social contact can be exhausting. Yeah. Here's one of a quote from someone who they analyze. It says, "The best part of my day is when I walk into my office and close the door." That would be me. That would be me. I mean, now, like, it's great because I am still at home working. Like, I love it because I get so much done. I don't have to, like, worry about, like, commuting anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, so the only thing that's sometimes distracting, but, like, not really, are the cats, because I feel like every time I get up, they're like, "Oh, is it time to eat? Is it time to eat?" I'm like, "No, it's not time to eat, Miss Moo and Miss Lydia." So, but yeah, I mean, what are you guys like? Do you think you're different at work than being, in a social situation, like outside of work, or what? Because I feel like I have seen that where, this person at work is this person at work. Like maybe they're very, maybe their personality is more just like professional, but then like outside, it's like, who is this person? Like, who is that? Right? So, people change, but when they're, at work versus not at work, and maybe they're at happy hour or whatever. So let me know who you are. Yeah. So that is about it. I was so excited to finally do this because I was trying to figure out, like, what should I do? What should I not do? And the next episode I'm going to do on Halloween. Yeah. So stay tuned. But that'll be, like, the week, obviously, like, leading up to Halloween. So, and yeah, I wonder what everyone will be doing, and just, I don't know, are people getting like fun Halloween masks? I was actually looking up, something to go with the costume. I came across, okay, and you guys, like, me with the cats and loving cats. I stumbled on these masks that are literally like real cat faces. So it's like obviously like the nose down, but it's like, it's almost like you could probably customize it like to your own cat, I bet. Yeah. That'd be a good Christmas gift. I might have it in my back pocket. Yeah. I'd be like, "Hey mom, do you want to see your grand cat? Look in your stockings over." All right, peeps. Well, I'm wrapping it up for you. So be sure to go to the website, okay? Find your favorite platform. Spotify? Is it Apple? Is it Google? Or is it newly available on Stitcher? Okay. So you tell me. But again, all of it's there on the website, thebigdanepodcast.com/podcast. And you subscribe and listen from there. And if you saw my post recently about leaving a review, PayPal, this takes probably 30 seconds. Maybe I'll make this a challenge. Who can do it the fastest in live time or whatever? But, yeah, but really, it doesn't really take that long. So if you wouldn't mind, just leave me a review. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, be sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And I'll catch up with you next week. All right. Enjoy. Peace out.